There's a few other things that I want to talk about before we get off the air.
Yeah.
One of those is 35 Whelen.
Wheeling in the dealer.
Let me tell you about this caliber, but I want to tell you while we are showing on screen the Pro Outfitters Mobile Cam. Pro Outfitters are great partners in the hunting world where you can hunt 3 states from one lodge. We're talking white-tailed deer, turkey, all kinds of stuff. Pro Outfitters, they would welcome you taking this 35 Whelen to hunt white-tailed deer there at the lodge. You go to huntprooutfitters.com to get a hunt booked. Well, let me tell you about 35 Whelen.
Lay the details on us, man.
Hang on, I need a sip.
Now, that's bullet, right?
I'm not going to do a spit take.
That's a bullet, traditional bullet. Is that center fire, rim fire? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, we're talking center fire. The 35 Whelen is a powerful medium-bore rifle cartridge that does not require a magnum action or a magnum bolt face. The parent of this cartridge is the 30-06 Springfield, which is necked up to accept a bullet diameter of 0.358 inches or 9.1 millimeters. This cartridge is more powerful than its parent, especially in killing power on large game. So what you essentially have is a 30-06 casing. Can we see that on screen? Can you pull one out, Logan? Yeah.
What's 30-06 mean for us? If you were curious and you didn't know, what would 30-06 mean? What's the
Sure. So I want to remind people that cartridge designations are up to the designer of the bullet. So they vary in the format in which the justification for what they're called is developed. But it's a 30 caliber bullet, and it was designed for the 1906 Springfield rifle.
And that was primarily used in World War I?
Two.
Okay.
And then also, it was developed for World War I, you're right. But that saw use all the way into the Vietnam War. That cartridge...
Yeah, I think I remember that.
That cartridge was the sniper rifle of choice. So...
That was when the AR-15 came into play, was in Vietnam, and replaced that for the primary military firearm?
Well, we'd already replaced it with the M1 Garand for semi-auto.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But what they figured out was you needed both. Some people needed a sniper rifle.
Right.
And some people needed something lightweight that was good for up to 400 yards and running through, rice paddies and things of that nature. So what you see on camera is a 35 Whelen cartridge there, which is a necked up 30-06. And look at that big fat bullet.
Dude, that thing looks like a crayon. It's so big.
Look at that. That is 9.1 millimeters. So you're looking at... It's as big as the bullet on a 9mm pistol, but obviously tons of power. So let me continue on about...
Stepping it down, too, towards the tip.
35 Whelen.
More deets.
Hand loading is popular among 35 Whelen owners because of the wide variety of available bullets in comparison to commercially loaded ammunition, although we have several flavors right here on the shelf. Pictured from left to right is a 275 grain soft point bullet, a 200 grain plastic tipped copper bullet, and a 110 grain frangible revolver bullet for varmint hunting, and a 270 grain cast bullet for metallic silhouette shooting.
Now, I have a question about the varmint element that you discussed. Most varmint rifles are 22s, so why would you need a 35 Whelen varmint variation?
Not all. That's not quite.
When I think of varmint rifles, I think 22s.
So they are smaller caliber. They're not 22 long rifle. Typically, they're more like 22 250, 223. But you're right, more like a 22 diameter bullet. But what they're drawing is the distinction that in this one cartridge, you have a 275 grain soft point bullet, which is a ton of lead. But if you step that down to 110 grain, it's less than half the weight of lead.
Okay.
So you're getting a smaller, faster moving projectile in the same caliber. It could be fired out of the same gun. So you.
Oh, okay.
So with the 275 grain bullet, you could probably hunt elk. You could hunt elk. Absolutely,
Yeah,
could.
definitely.
But
Probably more effective than my method of hunting elk.
What's your method of?
Chokeholds.
Yeah. Can you do an elk call?
Yeah. I won't do it on the air because then we'll be inundated with elk.
Just do it.
You just do
All right,
it.
it's like,
Yeah,
No, it's
that elk has cancer.
No, but
what, he's a smoker.
here comes a velociraptor. I see him. They're encroaching now.
Right there.
You brought him back from extinction.
That's how good of a
That's
call it was.
that's, yeah, well, I mean, it's a
No, an elk is
unintended
like
consequences.
Can't do the high pitched noise.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that was an elk.
Yeah, but I bet you wouldn't have guessed a real elk sound. Sounds like it sounds.
No, I probably wouldn't.
No, it sounds interesting.
Yep.
The 35 Whelen was developed in 1922 as a Wildcat cartridge. Remington Arms Company standardized the cartridge as a regular commercial round and first made it available in the Remington Model 700 Classic in 1988. This was developed in 1922, and it didn't become available as a commercially, round that you could buy off the shelf until 1988.
Wow.
Quite a span.
Blast from the past.
Right.
One version of its origin is that it was designed by Colonel Townsend Whelen
Whelen.
That's where they got that name from.
when he was commanding officer of the Frankfurt Arsenal. In a 1923 issue of American Rifleman, Colonel Whelen refers to it as the first cartridge that I designed. So apparently there's some debate about where it even originated. So this is speculation.
Double controversy on the gun shop show?
Two controversies.
That's a lot of controversy.
Too much controversy.
One of them that nearly
Two.
destroyed an episode, and another one that we just discovered just now.
Just rolled up on it.
Yeah, 35 Whelen.
Well, I bet you Mr. Whelan never got censored on the radio.
Probably not.
Yeah.
He's like, what's the radio?
And they're like, Mr. Whalen, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, I'm talking about how I made this bullet. And they're gonna be like, oh, we can't.
There's
we
a
can't
lot
do
of
that.
red tape.
Yeah.
I'm
There's a lot of.
We got a lot of lawyers on the phone.
but just don't know what it would take.
The law says no.
By the way, during this commercial break, you're gonna hear 47 political ads, and but what you want to do is entirely too controversial.
We're shutting you down.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to go. If you could just not do anything that anybody cares about, that would be great.
Actually, if you could just do everything that everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
be a team player.
If you
Let's be a
could
team
just
player.
not do anything.
If you could just go ahead and stop right there.
Hey, man! Yeah,
Nice circle back.
yeah. Good job, Logan.
That's what I'm here for.
So proud of him right now.
In his 1940 book, The Hunting Rifle, Design, Selection, Ballistics, Marksmanship, Colonel Whelen gives a different version of the origin after describing the 400 Whelen.
Whoa. That's a lot of...
About
Wait. They went from what Whelan to 400?
you're talking 35 Whelen to 400 Whelen.
Whoa.
What
That's
happened
just
to
a decimal point.
Bro,
36
that
to like 399 Wheeling.
So I was all Whelens to be had.
Oh, I see. I'm glad they didn't call it 35 Townsend. It
Next
doesn't have
up,
the same ring to it.
on the Gun Shop Show, we're going to be wheeling and dealing in 36 wheeling, 37 wheeling, and so forth.
we didn't tell them about the dealing though, bro. We're talking all about the wheeling.
Oh,
We're
that's
skipping
a
out
good
on
idea.
the dealing.
Let's make 35 wheeling and 36 dealing.
Okay.
It would be funny to make cartridges just so we could come up with clever names.
Rhyming names. Well, I was thinking
what
more
was
like
the one we found?
the
Where it was
bins.
like, it was like 17 ears.
HMR?
22 HMR?
No. It was
Erger Split and Loudon Boomer?
yes.
Yeah, that.
What was it?
I think it's Ergen Split and Loudon Boomer.
Ergen Splitten Loudon Boomer.
That sounds like something that you'd hear from. Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah.
the guy that designed it initially wanted it to be a really fast varmint round.
Uh-huh.
It broke 5,000 feet per second. And I think the closest he got was 4,600, which is still pretty smoking.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, but he didn't do it. He didn't make it.
Oh, he made it.
He made a
He
funny
did too.
cartridge name.
Yeah.
Ergen
Yeah, he did.
Split, I don't even know how to spell it.
Ergen Splitten Ear Splitter.
Loudon
Is it
Boomer.
Loud and boomer. Is it because it breaks the sound barrier and makes a loud boom?
That's really why he named it that.
See?
It makes a lot of sense. If you
Great
don't
minds
think
think alike.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm reading something interesting I want to share.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
interesting, man? Tell us.
This comes from an article on the topic of 35 Whelen. It says most people think that the 35 Whelen cartridge, which is a 30-06 necked up to a 35 caliber, was designed by Colonel Townsend Whelen.
Oh.
As a matter of fact,
Uh-oh.
Oh, great.
it was only named after Colonel Whelen, but it was designed by James Howell, who was then with the famous firm of Griffin and Howell.
I've never heard of it.
So, conspiracy.
How?
How
Somebody else trying to
can that
take
even be?
somebody try and take credit
that
for somebody
possible?
else's work is what it sounds like to me.
Previous episodes and more available at gunshopshow.com.